Hello, my name is Denise Yezbak Moore, and today I'm creating with John Bead. John Bead is a Preciosa Crystal Platinum distributor and a well-known wholesale company turning 70 this year. Today's DIY jewelry making project features my Caribbean moon earrings. The tools and supplies you will need to create these earrings are round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, wire cutters. We will be using Preciosa Crystals and Preciosa Pearls. Caribbean Sea 6mm bicones with an AB coating. Caribbean Sea 6mm bicones with an AB coating, but these are matte. Tanzanite 6mm rounds with an AB coating. Tanzanite 4mm rounds. Crystal Bellatrix 6mm AB, pearlescent white pearls 6mm, 4mm jump rings, an ear wire, and 24 gauge wire. A complete list of the jewelry making supplies and beads along with printable PDF instructions can be found on blog.johnbead.com. Cut a 4.5-inch length of 24 gauge wire. We are now going to create a wrapped loop. Using our round nose pliers, we are going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hands, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Remove the wire. Using our wire cutters, we're going to trim off that little end, flatten out our loop, and we are going to tap the little wire down so there are no sharp edges. Now cut 2 3.5-inch lengths of 24 gauge wire. Once again, we are going to form a wrapped loop, bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hands, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Trim off that little end, flatten out our loop, and we are going to tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. Repeat the wire wrapped loop on the second 3.5-inch 24 gauge wire. Now we have 3 wrapped loops. We are now going to create the bottom row of the earrings. I just loaded onto the 4.5-inch length wire a 4mm Tanzanite, Caribbean Sea bicone matte, a Crystal Bellatrix, Tanzanite 6mm, the pearl, Tanzanite 6mm, the crystal, the Caribbean Sea bicone matte, and the 4mm Tanzanite. Making sure our beads are nice and tight, we're going to complete a wrapped loop on this end of the wire. So I want to make sure that my bottom loop is facing this way so that the loops are going in the same direction. So we're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hands. Grabbing our chain nose pliers, we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Remove it. Using our wire cutters, We're going to trim off that little end, flatten out our loop, and tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. I'm now going to start bending my wire to create a U shape. I just loaded my 3.5 inch length wire with Preciosa crystals. We have the 4mm Tanzanite, the bicone Caribbean Sea AB, the 6mm Tanzanite, the bicone Caribbean Sea 6mm, and the 4mm Tanzanite. Now we're going to create a wrapped loop, making sure those beads are nice and tight and that the loop is facing this way. We're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hand. We are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Grabbing our wire cutters, we're going to trim off that little end, flatten out our loop, and tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. Once again, we're going to come in and we're just going to bend the wire up. I just loaded onto our last length of 3.5 inch wire 3 Tanzanite crystals 4mm, your ear wire 3 Tanzanite crystals 4mm. I'm going to purposely create the loop facing the wrong way, so at the end I can show you how to fix it if it happens to you and your loops are facing different directions. Grabbing our round nose pliers, we want to make sure those beads are nice and tight. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hands. We are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Remove it. Grabbing our wire cutters, we're going to come in, trim off that little end, flatten our loop, and tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. You can now see our loops are facing opposite, the wrong way. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. So we're going to grab our chain nose pliers and place it there. And then grab our other chain nose pliers and place it there. And we're going to give it a little twist. So now you can see the loops are facing in the same direction. Now we're going to bend the wire down instead of up like we did on the other two. So we're just gently moving the wire and bending it down. Now we have created the 3 parts of the earring. Let's connect it. I just grabbed a 4mm jump ring. This is how you open and close a jump ring. Picking up the bottom piece, we're going to attach it to the jump ring. The middle piece, attach it to the jump ring. And the top, and attach it to the jump ring. Now we're going to come back in and close our jump ring. I just picked up and opened my 4mm jump ring. Coming over to the other side, we're going to grab the bottom, the middle, and the top and attach it to the jump ring. Now we're going to come back in and we are going to close the jump ring. At this point, you can come back in and bend your wires a little bit to make sure that they have the shape that you desire. And there you have it, how to create my Caribbean moon earrings. Another one of my projects that will be featured on blog.johnbead.com is my Caribbean moon bracelet. This will not have a DIY tutorial, but it will have written instructions. I hope you enjoyed this DIY tutorial video, and I will see you next time.